Hi, I am from Social Research Insights, and the mission of Social Research Insights is to promote open source software for data analytics for both academic and industrial research needs. In this video cast, I am going to explain you how to do outlier analysis on univariate dataset. I am going to do that in 3 different steps. First, I will explain how to simulate the dataset, and in step number 2, I am going to explain how to compute the confidence intervals, and step number 3, plotting the data with the respective confidence intervals. Step number 4, identification and deletion of the outliers, and in step number 5, we are going to learn how to do the significant test on the mean difference. Okay, the step number 1, I am going to describe how to simulate the data, and after that calculating the confidence intervals. First, let me explain what is an outlier. An outlier is an observation which is very distant from the rest of the observations. So let me explain that with the help of pictorial, with the help of let me prepare a whiteboard for your sake to explain what exactly is an outlier. Imagine that we have a graph with some certain data points, and which are thrown on a two-dimensional geometric space, and if you observe these data points, it's very easy for you to detect that there is a linear relationship between the axis, x-axis and y-axis. So there is a positive correlation, but I am not going into the details of computing the correlation. But the aim of this video is to describe how to detect the outlier. So if the data is in this way, there is no problem with the data set, and by any chance if you get few the data points that are very far away from the rest of the group, then we refer them as outliers. See, here I have 2 outliers, and there are other outlier here at the bottom of the graph, and these outliers will going to put a lot of pressure on the statistical measures. In case if we compute either mean or standard deviation, and these measures are burdened by these outliers, for the arithmetic average is always sensitive to the outliers in the data. So now the aim of this video is to identify such outliers and eliminate them with the help of a theoretical concept called confidence intervals. So the confidence interval is any estimate of the upper limit and the lower limit based on the mean and standard deviation computed from the univariate dataset. For example, if I am computing the confidence interval at 90% confidence level, then the confidence interval is going to be x bar plus or minus 1.64. This is actually the jet value at 90% confidence interval, and sigma, which is standard deviation. And the same expression at 95% confidence interval is going to be x bar plus or minus 1.96 sigma, and at 99% the same expression is going to be x bar plus or minus 2.4 sigma. So here the plus represents the upper limit, minus represents the lower limits. So in step number 2, we are going to compute the confidence intervals at not in the confidence levels, but we are going to compute, instead of 90%, I am going to take up this issue as 1 standard deviations, and instead of 95%, I am going to use 2 standard deviations, and instead of 99%, I am going to use 3 standard deviations. So the confidence interval as such is going to be x bar plus or minus 1 standard deviations. Instead of 1.96, we are going to put 2 here, so x bar plus or minus 2 standard deviations. Instead of 2.4, we are going to put 3 here, and it will going to be x bar plus or minus 3 standard deviations. So this is the step number 2. in step number 3, we are going to plot the graph so that we can identify the actual outliers in the data set. For example, if we have a data set x with the data point x1, x2, x3, so that x till xn, and we actually going to plot the data and all these x1, x2, x3, x4, and we use these confidence intervals as in the form of the linear lines set 1 standard deviations. We plot the confidence interval, and we try to take up the corresponding values from the y-axis, and we try to enumerate the outliers. So for example, if my graph is going to be like this, and here in this situation I have 2 outliers, and in this is step number 3, and in step number 4 we are going to identify the outliers in the spreadsheet, so that we eliminate the outliers. This is the actual data set, and we are going to have x with outliers, and we use the confidence intervals at 1 standard deviation, at 2 standard deviations, and at 3 standard deviations, and we try to identify the outliers in the data, and we eliminate them. We compute the actual mean and the mean for the data variable without outliers. So I can simply say the mean for the actual data, mean for the data without outliers, and finally we try to perform a t-test where the actual mean is going to be x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by standard error. So this is step number 4. Okay, we have so all the way 4 steps to do this. This is precisely is known as outlier analysis. Okay, this is the first part of my series of the videos on outlier analysis. In the second video I am going to do all these actions or the tasks in LibreOffice Calc installed Ubuntu 14.04. Thank you.